Hey, Sooner football fans. This is your Sooner football fans podcast. You got Terry and Rob here. Boomer Rob.
Boomer Terry.
And we are coming at you from the Podcast Palace in beautiful Norman, Oklahoma, where
we are not affiliated with the University of Oklahoma.
But we do have eligibility left. Dang it. See, my tongue still gets eligibility.
Scotty, have you got any eligibility left? Oh, you haven't introduced him yet.
I haven't introduced it.
Okay,
Rob
sorry.
just...
Back up.
And from the very beginning of the podcast, from beautiful Southern California, hanging out on the beach or preparing to shoot somebody on the 405, we got Scotty Stevens. Boomer Scotty.
Boomer.
So
and Texas still sucks.
Yeah. So real clear, we got to pay our bills or act like we're paying bills here. Right. So we got to remind everybody to subscribe to us wherever you're listening at. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, all that fun stuff. Go to tailgateconnect.com. Sign up to be at the tailgate at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California next September, this coming September, with Dan from Tailgate. He's putting on the Sooner Tailgate out there.
And me and Terry.
And we will be there, so you get to hang out with.
And Scotty will be there.
Scotty will be there.
Yeah.
And also make sure and check out our videos on YouTube from Louie's on Campus Corner. Great food, great drink, good group of people down there. So tell them that we sent you, and they'll go, okay, thanks. They won't give you anything free.
Can you come back later?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So,
I'd also like to add that there'll be about 300 UCLA fans there too.
At the game? Okay. Total. And also make sure and go check out the Sooner bands, not marching bands, but rock bands.
Iron Glide,
JD's band. He may be in Norman on Thursday, may hang out with us at
cool.
Louis. They got a show Friday night in Tulsa. And then also Fever Tree all the way out in Memphis. Got a bunch of Sooner fans on that. Both of those bands put their music, or allowed us to put their music on our podcast, and we appreciate that. But both of them really great bands and really huge Sooner fans. So all that's out of the way. Scotty, I just want to tell you that your Thursday night chats on your drive home have become a staple for us. It
only took me an hour and a half today. So
while we're sitting back enjoying ourselves, we start seeing these.
It's called Marco Polo.
Marco Polo. So it only took you an hour and a half. How far of a drive is it?
About 50 miles.
Yeah, so
hour and a half for 50 miles. It's not as bad as I thought.
Yeah, it's not too bad, but it's still, it took me 30 minutes to drive.
It's an hour and a half of my life I'll never get back.
So how many curse words do you say a day on the 405?
Well, it gets worse as I get older. But yeah, I'm talking about this. I'm so ready to be done with this place. It's just pinched in everywhere. You can't move. But I'm ready to get out of here and go back home to God's country.
Well, we're looking forward to having you back home. How about that?
And it probably doesn't help that I tell him all the time. It takes me like 4 minutes to get to work. And that's if there's traffic.
Is Rob's mic on? I can't even hear him.
You can't hardly hear him?
I can't hear him at all.
Oh, okay. Well, say something, Rob.
Turn your mic on, Rob.
You couldn't hear me at all? Hello?
I hear you now if you're yelling.
No, he wasn't yelling.
No?
Maybe me and Rob just sound alike and you didn't know which one of us were talking.
Yeah, maybe. Yes, for years I've been trying not to listen to Rob, but
I make it difficult, don't I?
So, that was me. I turned me up. Ha! There we go. Now say something, Rob.
All right, Scotty, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay,
right.
That's better. Okay, so moving on. So what is the living out in Southern California? Do you hang out? I know we probably asked you this, but let everybody else know around.
You hang out with Sandra Bullock all the time?
Yeah.
because
Oh,
I'm moving down there from here.
if I did, Rob, you'd be the first one I call and let know. Now, I will tell you, I worked the Academy Awards about 10 years ago, and I was on the red carpet. It was on duty, and I was in uniform. And you know how they go by the red carpet, and they're talking to the reporters, and there's this little annoying handler that grabs them by the arm and pulls them.
Yeah.
Well, one grabbed Selma Hayek, and she was standing right next to me, and she grabbed my hand.
Ooh.
And didn't want to go anywhere, and my legs went limp.
but that's the only thing that went limp, right?
Yeah, do a
Oh,
Forrest,
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
you had a Forrest Gump moment there.
Yeah.
It was over that quick, right?
Oh, it was that quick.
Well, see, I don't believe I've never had a brush with that type of greatness. You know, except
I grabbed you the other day.
like,
What you talking about?
this is what I deal with, Scotty.
Hey, Scotty knows. He can't act like he don't know.
But with the fan base that is out there, how did the California Sooners take the ending of the season and last season, or how did you take it? Fill us in on what it's like having to watch. We bitch and moan about having to be up for at a game for 11 o'clock. You got to be there up for it by 9 o'clock, right?
Yeah. I mean, well, being the Big 12, hell yes.
Yeah.
And it's worse if when I was on nights and I wasn't getting home till 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh.
And then the Texas week, my nerves are shot anyway, and I can't eat the night before or that morning. So I'm already grumpy, hungry, and then I got to get up at 9 o'clock in the morning and watch the game. But so, there's a pretty big following out here. You'd be surprised. But I'm listening to the UCLA fans already, and they're annoying the hell out of me already. It's this is Chip Kelly's year, and it's going to be the biggest upset in college football. And I'm like, just put your powder blue shirts back in the closet and shut up.
Yeah, I
don't
could
want to hear it.
I could agree with that if they had done anything last year.
Right.
They were worse at the end of the year than they were at the beginning of the year, weren't they? I mean,
That's because we crushed their spirit.
They just progressively got worse. I mean, didn't they end up?
That's been their trend.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they always do.
They ended up putting another quarterback in, if I remember right.
Yeah, the phenom went to the bench.
So they really didn't.
Yeah.
They had nothing to. They've got nothing to back up their. Oh, this is our year. I mean, or Chip Kelly's year.
No, I think they're in for it again this year. And what makes it even better is all my wife's family are UCLA alum, so it makes it even better.
Wow.
Ro Thomas, UCLA?
Yeah, and her sister and her brother-in-law.
You don't get an opportunity to rub that in then at all, do you?
Yeah, I've converted Paula.
Nice. Mm-hmm. And of course, I know the kids, so I know they're all OU.
Well,
yeah, the daughter's locked in. She's ready to go.
Now, I'm sure she's a big softball fan, right?
Oh, she likes all the sports. I take her to see the softball games every year when they have their tournaments, and this year we went to LMU and watched them smash a couple of teams. And
well, they're on a.
And she went and had her picture taken with the team and all that stuff. So yeah, it's a good time. But she likes them all. But now she's into basketball and volleyball.
Oh, okay. Ooh.
But she's 12 and she's 5'8". So.
Yeah, or the beach volleyball national championship should be getting ready to go on out there, shouldn't it?
She will not be wearing anything that resembles a beach volleyball uniform.
That's the day that we stop watching it.
But the softball team is on a 39-game winning streak.
It's more than that, isn't it? No, it's 39.
39, and Oklahoma. We got thunderstorms last week during the Big 12 tournament, and the Big 12 just went, it's Oklahoma's. they shut down the tournament and just gave it to Oklahoma.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, me and my daughter had plans. We were going to sit down and watch the next game. I mean, we watched the Texas Tech game, which is actually really impressive because they scored 4 runs with 1 hit at one point. So I mean, that team is just phenomenal. I don't know how Patty Grasso keeps doing it every year. She just gets them ready. I don't know how she does it.
If I was going to say they relied on anything this year, it was pitching, but they had a freshman step up.
Yeah.
That I mean, it's ridiculous her control. Like she'll throw a 50-something mile an hour off speed pitch and then back that up with like 68 or something. It's ridiculous.
Well, and then is she the one that had the 2 perfect games?
Yes.
That's crazy. 2 perfect games.
Giselle.
Don't turn me into a liar.
Yeah,
but,
I forgot her last name,
but the softball team, we gave boomers out to them last week.
Yep.
But so from afar, and we know that you get all of your much needed data from this podcast. What are your thoughts on Grinch? Let's just start with Grinch, Scotty. What has been your take on what Mr. Grinch is bringing to the Sooners?
You know what's funny is first of all, there's the energy you see coming out of them, but it's a lot like energy-wise that you saw out of Mike Stoops. So I mean that goes back and you start asking the questions about what happened with Mike Stoops, and I always liked Mike Stoops. I mean, I don't think he forgot how to coach defense. I think Mike Stoops just, forgot how to talk to, this general opinion. But I like the energy he brings, looking at the videos they put online about him. And I think that's what they need. And he's laying down the law. Now I don't know how much of, what he says about the defense and, what's going on that is real or if it's coach speak. I mean, we're not going to know until the season. What I do know is, last year when I was on this podcast in August, I said our defense can't possibly get any worse, and it got worse.
Liar.
Listen, we're not going to hold that against you, okay?
But statistically speaking, I could say it this year would be absolutely correct.
Yeah, absolutely could.
Nobody should be wrong in that this year. I mean, yeah, I mean, a lot of the things he says that's we've had discussions off the podcast, Rob and I have, and with other people. 2 things. It could be coach speak because, I mean, if he comes out here and says, "Hey, man, we're looking good, turning the corner. These guys are this and this, and we're doing all the good things, all the right things," and then they come out and start throwing out lemons like they did last year, makes him look bad.
Yeah.
Now, all the things he's saying now, if they come out and start throwing lemons, he's like, "Hey, I told you."
Well, So this is what I'm really hoping for, Scotty, and hopefully you guys agree with me. Lincoln is a developer. Am I right? And especially quarterbacks.
Right.
Quarterbacks, I mean, he's developing these guys. Now, don't get me wrong. Baker was good. Kyler was good. They're good quarterbacks already. But he developed them into first-round picks. So hopefully he was looking for somebody like that, and hopefully that's Grinch that comes in and develops this defense, because there may have been talent, there may not have been talent, but even if the talent is not that great, you can still develop them into being a great defense. So hopefully that's the case.
Yeah, I mean, we saw I could never believe that Oklahoma is ever going to recruit somebody without talent. So the talent's there. But then watching the games, and I'm not an analyst by any means, but I do know that if you're the corner and you're playing man and there's not safety help over the top, you don't peel off the receiver.
Yeah.
So, that's
even I know that. So it seems to be a developmental thing to me. How they were being coached, but I don't know. It's funny though. Everybody's still so excited, reading posts and all that stuff about the upcoming season. And I don't know if it's, if it's because of Jalen Hurts or if it's, because they're waiting to see what Spencer Rattler does when he walks on campus. But I'm like everybody else, man. I'm ready for it to get started. I mean, I love baseball season, but the Rangers are sucking right now.
A little bit.
I need to turn time.
A little bit. Hey, in this game right now, they got a chance because it's still 0-0. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we're going to be making a trip down to Arlington this weekend, and going to watch the Cardinals put a whooping on the Rangers a couple of times, probably 3 times.
Oh. Well, they're playing Kansas City tonight, man. I mean, so come on.
Yeah.
Come on. If you can't beat Kansas City, I'm hanging it up.
Yeah. Well, hey, let's do one of our little deals right now. First off, let's start off with I changed how I think I wanted to do this, Rob, but back in your day, well, Scotty, first off, we started this deal, as you know, with I found 150 slang words that are no longer used or out of use and stuff. Back in your day, what were some of the slang words that you
keep it clean?
Keep it clean. Some of the slangs that from your generation that you used.
Geez. I was listening to your podcast a couple of weeks ago when you guys were bringing this up, and I was thinking about how embarrassing the 80s got at some point, with fashion, with the parachute pants and, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And Rob will remember this. Now, coming from our town, it's 2,000 people, give or take, depending on, harvest or not. But if you remember junior high when parachute pants come in and the movie Colors came out and everybody was cuz or blood, and there's nothing worse than a bunch of redneck Oklahoma kids in a small town using the word cuz or blood.
Yep.
So what were your colors, Rob?
Man, I was too poor to have some colors. I was lucky to have clothes.
Well, we're trying to bring words back, but it's not being very effective. But our first one was Bogart. Don't Bogart that man. And then last week was Psych, which I thought Psych was a pretty good one.
I only used that one.
Only used in the context that we used it.
Yeah. But I got some other ones here that I remember them being used. Grody. You remember Grody?
I do remember Grody.
It's basically gross. So, and then there's tubular, which is the opposite of grody.
Wasn't that always just used like that on the West Coast? So
tubular, man. And then there's grindage. I think that was from the 90s. That was a Pauly Shore thing. Give me some grindage food.
Is that food?
Yeah. And then my favorite for tonight, chia.
Oh boy!
Spelt CHEEUH or apostrophe UH. Chia. What's that from, Rob?
I don't know.
Chia. Monkeys might fly out my butt.
Still not catching it.
Scotty?
Is it the Almighty Evan?
No.
Bruce Almighty.
No.
No, that's from the movie with the Queen.
You're there. Wayne,
yeah, I know I'm there. If you wouldn't have asked me, I'd have known the damn answer.
Chia.
No.
I surrender.
Wayne's World.
Wayne's World.
Chia, and monkeys might fly out my butt.
Okay.
You weren't a Wayne's World fan, Rob?
Not really.
What?
Yeah.
Scotty?
Oh, Rob.
Wow, Rob, I'm like extremely disappointed right now.
That's okay.
Well,
I use this word with my son every now and then to embarrass the hell out of him. His friends are over, and I'll use the word radical.
Radical. So
I get that millennial blank stare out of him, like, what the hell did you just say?
That's always fun.
Yeah, just to say, my kids now, actually some of my, David and Caleb, they kind of throw back to the 80s and 90s now. I think the music and stuff back then was pretty cool. So
Well, I think the 80s is the greatest era for music on the ever.
yeah,
So, but that's me.
that's you. Better than the 60s, the Beatles era.
Well, they're good for sure. And the 70s, to be sure, was good for music. But I think the 80s just eclipsed them both.
You know, the 80s, I think the lifestyle was more flamboyant.
Then the 60s?
Yeah, more flamboyant.
Listen.
Dude, have you okay, Scotty, have you seen The Dirt yet on Netflix?
The Dirt?
Yeah, it's called The Dirt.
No.
It's the Motley Crue story. Okay.
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay. Dude, I'm telling you, how those guys are alive today. How
That's probably
Ozzy,
true for all rock bands.
yeah, how Ozzy, no, the 80s bands, you know, how Ozzy is alive. I mean, Nikki Sixx overdosed 4 times and died twice. I mean, was pronounced dead. And
Yeah, didn't they have a thing where, like, they were in the middle of a concert and somebody was snorting a line of cocaine
oh yeah,
in the middle of the concert?
yeah. I mean, it was just
Wouldn't surprise me.
yeah. But I mean, how but the rock and roll lifestyle was what made the music. I think everybody, the draw to the music was the lifestyle, the big hair, the makeup, the flamboyancy of it that made and then when you go back and listen to it now, it's like the music was really good too.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah, I'm a Def Leppard, Motley Crue kind of guy. Like AC/DC. Rob was a big Duran guy.
I know.
That's right. Tears for Fears. I liked them all. Sure did.
And I don't know if you know this, but in the
He
mid
knows.
'80s, he was really into certain Madonna songs.
Oh, yeah, for sure that. Listen,
Well, see,
And one of them got him in trouble.
I had a thing for Madonna.
Oh, you remember that, Rob?
No.
Come on.
no.
Yeah, you liar.
I can tell he's lying. He won't even look at me. He's just looking up at the TV.
I don't know.
So share, Scotty.
Oh, my God.
Two girls. So in our hometown, the radio station was KQ 106 in Hobart, and was it Friday or Saturday, they played dedications, and everybody would listen to these songs. And when that song came out, like everybody in 3 counties was requesting the same damn song. It was Crazy for You by Madonna.
Yeah.
Right. And then one week, Robert and we're listening to radio, and 2 girls dedicated that song to Robert.
Oh,
One of which was not his girlfriend.
Ooh.
Not that week. Just joking. Just joking. No, I don't remember this at all.
So.
Well, I remember it.
Yeah.
Well, see, I'm trying to remember exactly what Rob told me. Was like, dude, how did you get into liking Duran? And he was like, they were on the edge, and what was it?
I don't know. Probably involved a girl, though.
No, you were like, no, I liked music that was on the edge, and they were on the edge. I was like, no, they were.
Well, it depends on the way you look at it.
Or edge or something.
Duran and Wham. Right?
Yeah, I like some Wham songs, yeah.
Some.
Well, listen, I don't know who all is, batting on the other side of the plate like you do. I had no idea.
Boy George, any Culture Club?
What about him? No, I did not.
You liked a little bit of Culture Club?
No, there was one song that's pretty catchy. What was that?
Karma Chameleon.
Is that what it was called?
Karma.
Oh, yeah, that may be it.
This is like sitting in court and listening to a guilty suspect try to deny everything.
But here's the thing. Scotty wasn't lying. We had one station that we could get in the sticks.
Right.
And that we had to listen to whatever they played.
Oh.
So they played everything. And, the 80s, for music, there was a broad spectrum from I don't know, Kiss down to the gay, that guy, the boy
George.
Yeah. So I mean, they played it all. So
but explain this, Rob. How did Scotty go down the path of Def Leppard, Motley Crue, and you went down the path of Culture Club, Boy George, and Wham?
Now wait a minute. Pump the brakes there, Fuzzy. Listen. What did I say when we started that bowling deal? What was my favorite band?
I don't know, what was it?
Def Leppard.
Def Leppard.
Or no, wait, it was Van Halen.
Yeah, it was He's just trying to sound tough now, Scotty.
Okay, but wait, is it the David Lee Roth Van Halen or the Sammy Hagar Van Halen that makes the difference?
Hagar. But I liked David Lee Roth.
Yeah.
But I preferred Sammy Hagar. Because they seemed like they just rocked better. I don't know.
Yeah, I went and I was front and center at the Sammy Hagar concert and Michael Anthony up in Tulsa 2 weeks ago. Still a little bit high from that. It was nice, but so again, Rob, you didn't answer. You avoided the question.
What question?
It was, how did Scotty go down the road of Motley Crue, Def Leppard, and you go down the road of Duran Duran, Culture Club, and Wham?
No,
and
what I'm saying is I liked all 80s music.
Oh,
most all 80s. But I think Scotty and I probably had similar taste in music in that we liked like the Def Leppards, the Guns N' Roses, the Scorpions. I mean, all those bands were our favorite. But like I say, we had to listen to we didn't have any options because you literally could not pick up another station.
Yeah, well, it was pretty much
that
was it. In McAllister, you had KTMC, and there's a guy I went to high school with, John Ford. He'd get in trouble late nights, because of course back then radio stations went off the air at midnight or 1. I think Friday nights and Saturday nights they were on the air till 1. He'd get in trouble because he'd throw in some Van Halen, some Iron Maiden, some Ozzy, and that wasn't in their playlist, but it was top 40, rock.
And see, they wouldn't let, I don't think, Scotty, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they would play any Black Sabbath or any Iron Maiden.
Yeah,
I mean, they wouldn't play the controversial stuff.
No, hell no, you'd have the churches up in arms trying to play that.
But okay, well, we should probably venture back into football. What do you think?
Have we lost the two people that are listening?
Yeah. Everybody's like, okay,
get away from the Robert stories.
Yeah, we'll get back to the Robert stories.
Hey, we're gonna tell some Scotty stories. Yeah,
but
Scotty ain't got none. Scotty was busy reading his Bible while you were out there. I don't know.
I got something that we don't want to tell Paula. That's Scotty's wife for anybody listening.
Okay, well, let's jump in here to, Oklahoma gets another commit for the 2020 class. Noah Nelson, a 3-star offensive tackle out of Gilbert, Arizona. 6'8", 295 pounds.
Yeah.
6 foot.
Well, you know what? That's Biedenbo's MO.
Yeah, because right now they have 4 people that are 6'6" or taller. 2 6'6", 1 6'7", 1 6'9", and everybody else is 6'5", and then they got a couple of 6'3s. So
yeah, that's a grown man.
And then some.
Well, they said, reading up on him, they said that, he's a 3-star now. They expect him to go to 4-star. But really, you're right, he's a Biedenbo kind of guy. It's just developmental that, they're worried about, how he moves his feet.
Yeah.
But they expect that in the next year. And once they get him on campus with Biedenbo, I'm sure if they offered him, that Biedenbo thinks he can fix that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look what they – everybody would probably tell you that Creed Humphrey, his freshman year, could have played, and just, been a physical specimen out there, but just didn't have the skill set yet. The feet movement, the technique down.
Yeah.
They could have put him out there and him just been a bulldozer, but that's not what they did.
Right. And after 1 year, they're already talking about him being a first.
Yeah. Year. Yeah. He's going to be gone after.
Mm-hmm.
Next
he's going to be an all Big 12 lineman. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, but so again, we pick up another, like you said, Scotty, he's going to be a 4-star by the end of the year, by the recruiting signing day. We're still sitting here wondering what's going on with this defense and the recruiting. Or people just not interested? Do you think? I think that may be part of it. They're like, I want to see what this guy does before I go. And, they can tell him, well, here, we'll show you some Washington State film. It's still not the same thing.
Well, it's like the kid that decommitted from, where was that?
Florida.
Florida. We thought we were going to get him, a 4-star cornerback, and he chose Oregon?
Yeah, Oregon.
Seriously?
Chris Steele, hit the transfer portal. And I don't know what the heck went on in Florida, but I read a deal where him and his family were upset because he didn't have his roommate choice. And before they could get his roommate choice, and this was on the website, and it was somebody's website, and I was reading it. Don't take it for gospel, for crying out loud. But then this kid that was going to be his roommate ended up in some type of sexual assault thing, and now Chris Steele hit the portal. And I mean, he only enrolled in January, so he was an early enrollee. A lot of course,
yeah. So
Sooner
does
fans,
that mean he loses a year of eligibility since he enrolled?
I don't know, because when you enter the portal, you've got that, you can ask for, what is it?
Extenuating
circumstances to where, and maybe since he was an early enrollee and didn't really go through a season, that he doesn't have to sit out a season.
The story on SECPN was that his roommate currently had 2 pending sexual assault, or had 2 sexual assault cases in the past, and that he didn't want to be around that environment.
Okay,
right, the guy kind of gave him the heebie-jeebies, and he's like, if I don't need to be around this, and if that's the case, I'll give you credit. If you're willing to walk away from a program like Florida and go, you know what, I'll take my shot somewhere else, I'll give the kid credit for that.
Yeah.
Now, Oregon, whatever. But I'll give him credit for stepping up and going, I'm not going to be around this environment, and then, picking up and pulling out.
Yeah.
The heebie-jeebies.
Heebie-jeebies.
That's an 80s, right?
Hey, put that one on your list.
That might be older than 80s.
Yeah, that might, the heebie-jeebies. That's a Southern Oklahoma term right there, I guarantee you. But and as we Sooner fans do, when everybody saw that Chris Steele had entered the portal, of course there were a lot of assumptions that he was coming here.
Well, his recruiting came down to us in Florida.
I think it was us, Florida, and somebody else.
Was it?
Yeah, but we were in his top 3 or 5 or something like that.
Well,
but
he chose poorly.
Yeah, and I was just going to say he did. He chose an OU. Oregon University, so he almost got here.
They're green and yellow.
Or silver, or
fluorescent yellow, or whatever that is.
Yeah, what the hell ever. I mean, they've got more uniform, and I can't lie. It's like watching a road crew. Really, they look like markers.
I just don't know why they just don't change the name to Nike U.
I know.
Because
well, you know what though, when they come out in the silver and black, those uniforms actually really look good.
Yeah.
But they're always wearing the highlighter yellow, and I just want to vomit.
Yeah, and I do like their mirrored helmets. The ones that they're not silver, they
chrome.
Yeah, you walk up and you can see the crowd in the in the helmets when they're showing them.
Yeah, some of their
and it does beat their old uniforms. Remember the Donald Duck on the side of their helmet?
Yeah, for sure.
Get away with that one. You're good.
Yeah. Are there a lot of ducks up in Oregon?
Must be
a bunch of ducks.
I'm still trying to figure out if a Bruin is a bear, why your color is like blue. It's one of.
Well,
and if your name's a Trojans, why are you crimson? Because I've never seen a crimson Trojan.
Yeah,
I've seen some fluorescent ones and some.
Well, I mean, look at LSU.
Unless we're talking about the wrong kind of Trojan.
The LSU Tigers. Have you ever seen a purple and yellow tiger?
No.
Well, hey, War Eagle, but their mascot is
a tiger.
A
tiger.
Yeah.
So,
but their chant
goes
is
to show
you. But see, I guess Oregon must be full of ducks and beavers. So Oregon State Beavers, Oregon Ducks. Yeah.
Beavers and ducks. The Hooker Beavers. That's right here in Oklahoma, folks.
And then it's the Beaver Dusters, Beaver Oklahoma Dusters.
Oh boy,
too many.
Here we go.
And in Beaver, Oklahoma, you can go to the Beaver Hardware store or eat at the Beaver Cafe.
All right. I thought we were talking football.
It's
here.
all true. I mean,
Or I'll wait till they start a buffet. And then I'll go,
I started this, so shame on me.
okay. Rob is got the bucket of questions out. So,
oh boy.
are you ready for the bucket of questions?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Sooner
I've been
bucket of
doing this.
questions.
All right, Scotty. Random question number 1. What's something you've tried that you'll never, ever try again?
A beaver buffet.
Keep in mind that I'm your wife.
I've tried, but I'll never try again. Ooh.
Come on.
Yeah, that's work related. Can I talk?
It could be work-related, food, or, I think you don't want to
Yeah.
venture off into the physical nature, but
Yeah. Okay. Nothing. Okay. So, probably 18 years ago, working by myself, which we don't do very often in LA, but I was working by myself and come across a guy on PCP, and he was about 6'5", about 280 pounds. And for some reason, I had this thought in my head: I can take him.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it didn't work well. Didn't work good. It was one of the first times I came home with stitches.
Oh.
And got my ass handed to me by my boss.
So you will never fight a 6'8" guy on
Never,
PCP again.
ever. I don't care if they're on PCP. If you're 5'5", 120, I'm calling in everybody.
what are you talking about? Just pop 2 in his cap? And
I'm telling you, because I fought somebody that's like that big. It was on PCP, and she put my buddy in the hospital because she grabbed his testicles and squeezed so hard they kept him overnight.
Oh,
Jeez.
my word.
Everybody
Yeah, so-
just cringed in the crowd.
Oh,
But okay,
yeah.
Rob, don't be pulling up a question. What's something that you've tried that you will never try again, or did that you will?
Calf fries.
Calf fry.
Not doing that anymore.
No, did you like them though?
Until I knew what they were.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the problem with calf fries and lamb fries.
He just thought that McDonald's was selling jumbo-sized nuggets.
Let's see. Mine is me and a buddy, Mike, the guitar player from Fever Tree. Back in our day, we were probably 17, 18. We had like $5 between us total. But we wanted to, drink. And so for some reason, we bought like a pint.
Mad Dog 2020.
No. Like a pint or half pint of Everclear. And a can of Diet Mountain Dew.
Ugh.
Oh.
I bet that was.
And that's what we drank. That it was the worst tasting stuff.
You could also scrub the paint off your house. With that.
But Everclear and don't ask me why we got Diet Mountain Dew. I don't know. Maybe it was on sale for 25 cents a can or
Probably.
something. But we sat there and had a solo cup that I think we pulled out of the back seat of my car and poured it.
Little E. coli growing in there.
Yeah, and just Everclear was going to kill whatever is in it
that's
anyway.
for sure.
So, it was a terrible drunk. I'll just put it because
There's no way that ended well.
No, it was just gross. It was a stomach.
Me and Robert lived off Keystone Light.
Yep, it was cheap and pretty good.
Right, yeah, our senior year, because you could just pull change out of the couch and go buy a 54-pack of Keystone Light. And we didn't have to worry about Rob getting caught with it and getting sent across his bedroom for trying to hide it. So
Yeah.
Okay, Rob, what's the next one?
All right, next one. Scotty, describe Sooner football in 6 words.
Ooh.
Why 6? I don't know.
Oh.
6 words.
Maybe we should have said 7 because let's say 7 words. We'll give him 7 words.
Give him 7.
For 7 national championships.
Let's see, in 6 words. I'll be a Sooner till death.
I'll
That'll
be
work.
a Sooner till death. There you go.
All right.
Good job.
Good job.
Rob, I saw you sitting there counting with your fingers and
Yeah, but I want to, because I need, my toes to do this with. So, how about, I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say the bluest of blue blood teams.
I'm just going to say offense 7 times. So,
Okay.
that's how you can describe it right now. Offense.
Oh,
That's
you
it.
meant right now.
Well, ever. I mean, okay,
Ever.
Rob, let's not get moving on. Rob's getting technical on us.
Well, if we talk about ever, as opposed to right now. Okay. Oh, here's a good one. What's your favorite 80s hair band?
Oh,
Yeah, I probably should look to these, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
well, now I can say Def Leppard because I watched their induction ceremony in the Hall of Fame, and if you look at their early albums, they had the hair going on. But I think I liked Winger.
Winger.
Yeah.
You were okay. Hold on a second. You were going to say Winger was the best '80s hair band?
No, well,
Come on.
Maybe the one he liked the best.
well, when I say that, I think remember the video? He was dating that model.
Oh yeah.
See,
Aren't
I
they
can't
all?
get that out of my head. I can't. Little redhead dancing around on the hood of a car. I mean, come on.
No. That was Whitesnake.
Oh, was it Whitesnake?
Yes.
Okay, then I'm wrong.
Okay, Whitesnake. That's better. Whitesnake is good
Whitesnake,
because
okay.
Winger.
Wasn't that a Christian group, Winger?
No. You're thinking about. They dress like bumblebees. Doggone it, Rob. If you wouldn't. Striper.
Striper.
Striper was the
Striper.
yeah, was the Christian metal band, and they wore black and yellow spandex.
Yep.
Um,
And they shouldn't have.
Well, I mean, I think it probably worked out for him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you should never wear something where you can tell a man's religion by what he's wearing.
well, this is true.
Yeah, you should never do it.
I knew what you meant by that. But Winger did have some good songs.
Yeah, 17.
17.
Yeah.
Well, they had one good song.
I just remember when you said, you remember Beavis and Butthead. They had the AC/DC shirt, and I think Metallica, but their goofy buddy that wanted to be friends with them, the guy with the lisp, he always.
Listen, I never watched Beavis and
You
Butthead.
never watched?
Not one time.
Scotty, did you?
Yes,
Okay.
I know what you're talking about. Are you saying I'm that guy?
Yeah. Well, if you liked Winger, because he always wore the Winger shirt.
Now, I know who they are, but I've never watched it.
Rob's never. Okay, Scotty, have you ever watched South Park?
Some, yeah. More of a Family Guy guy, but yeah.
No.
Rob's never watched Family Guy either.
No.
Rob.
No.
God.
Yeah, you've never watched The Simpsons either, have
Ain't
you?
nobody got time for that.
You've never.
No, I've never watched The Simpsons.
You never watched one episode.
Not that I can remember. I mean,
Holy shit.
when I seen it, I changed it.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
I've watched SpongeBob, though.
you watched SpongeBob. So have you ever watched Bob's Burgers,
Nope.
Scotty?
Yeah, I've watched it, yeah.
I'm trying to think of the adult cartoon. Hold on.
American Dad.
Do what?
American Dad.
Well, there's American Dad too. Here, I know Rob's never seen that either.
Nope.
But he's a secret agent. Doggone it, Archer. Have you ever watched Archer?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Why is that funny? I don't get
Because
it.
Archer is the most adult cartoon ever. Okay, I mean,
Okay.
I'm not allowed to watch some of these while the wife's at home. So
Is that an oxymoron? Adult cartoon?
you know, every now and then I'll just give her my credit card and go, hey, go have a ball.
Yeah.
Get back and catch up.
Well, see, I'm lucky. My wife, Teresa likes all those shows. She likes Archer. She likes Bob's. We got them recorded, and but Rob has never. There was one time we were talking to him about it, and Caleb started to put it on. Rob goes, "If you're going to turn it on, I'm going to leave." It was like, what?
For sure I will. For sure I will.
Wow.
Well, so we're going to have to, strap Rob down to a chair and make him sit and watch some of these sometimes.
You'd probably have to.
Yeah.
You'd have to.
Because they're good. They're fun.
Well, when he comes to California, he's not going to have any place to go.
Yeah, that's true.
What are you talking about? There's a beach like a half a mile from your house. If it's that far.
But so let's get back to football again. Sooner football.
Oh,
maybe.
yeah, that is kind of the point of this show, right?
Yeah. Quarterback situation at Oklahoma. Is there one? We're just giving Scotty the chance. I know you guys out there have heard us talk about it. We're giving Scotty a chance here to drop his knowledge on everybody.
I think that under Lincoln Riley, Jalen Hurts can be phenomenal. Because like we said before, he develops quarterbacks like nobody else. But like everybody else, I really want to see, and I know it's a tall order, I want to see what Spencer Rattler, when he comes in. Granted, he's not stepping up until the summer, but I think it's a tall order to expect him to come in and win a game off, just summer practice. But I've also seen some of the posts. He's put on 25 pounds.
Yeah, he's every bit of that.
Yeah, he's ripped up. It's still on a Schwarzenegger movie, Twins, when he takes off the shirt. And like, are you allergic to something?
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden he's got muscles all over the place, and if he's half of what they're touting him up to be, it's going to be a good run at OU. I think if anybody can supplant Jalen Hurts, it's going to be Spencer Rattler. But I think for him to do it this year, it's going to take Jalen getting hurt or a phenomenal breakdown of both offense.
Yeah.
Which under Lincoln Riley, I just don't see happening.
Yeah, I agree. Lincoln, whatever the situation with whatever quarterback, whether it's Jalen or anything, he's going to play to their strengths, and I think that's the genius of him, is that it's not. He doesn't scheme for, I think, the defense. He schemes to make the defense stop him, but his scheme is to where his best player is and out to the best player. I mean, he simplifies it, because I've never heard any quarterback, Baker or just went blank. Kyler, yeah. I may have just had a stroke. I don't know. No, but that said anything was complicated. You never heard them go. You never heard them talk about the offense and go, "Well, it's a complicated scheme that we did." I think it's very simplistic, or at least he explains it that way. And to us and everybody else that looks out there, but I think to the guys running it, it's just, it's second nature to them. And I think that's the genius of Lincoln.
And I think with Oklahoma, it's the absolute best scenario for Jalen Hurts to walk into, because you can play back and try to protect the pass, but then with our running back room, if you want to stand back and wait for the pass, go ahead, pick your poison, because we got a room full of running backs who will run it, 10 yards on average. So I think it's the absolute best scenario for Jalen Hurts when he comes in. He doesn't have to throw it real deep. CeeDee Lamb, his catches are usually mid-range catches where he gets yards after catch.
Yeah.
There's not if you look at his film, there's not a whole lot of really, really deep passes where CeeDee Lamb is wide open and grabs the ball. It's usually intermediate routes where he gets a hold of the ball and his legs do the rest of the work. So I think that fits perfect for Jalen Hurts.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. Scotty, I want to ask you something right now, because I know that you love baseball kind of like I do, and Terry does too. This started This is a pet peeve of mine, by the way. You know how I get on my soapbox sometimes on baseball. But do you remember when Barry Bonds was at the plate and he was wearing like a shoulder pad on his elbow? Okay, I hated that. I hated that like with a passion. Because they need to be scared of the ball just a little bit. But he could, crowd the plate and make them pitch to him and he'd hit it out. Now, these guys, once they get to first base, they're putting on these big sliding gloves. And I'm like, you big sissy? How you feel about that?
Right, they look like freaking linebackers at the plate.
I'm just like, come on,
it's,
dude.
And being a Rangers fan, it's no wonder Ruben Odor can't hit the ball. He's got something on every arm and every leg.
I know. He couldn't run if he did hit the ball. Of course, they're losing 4-0 right now to Kansas City, by the way. Bases loaded, one out. But anyway, that is a pet peeve
in the bottom
of
the second even.
Listen, just get out there.
Yeah. Well, Rob, we were talking about it. Was it last week? These players, the baseball, when they come up and they got the helmet that wraps around their
to their mouth.
Uh-huh. I hate that. I mean, it's like, I remember Little League just wearing the ear cups. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And then you wore they started wearing the helmets. But when I was in little league, you wore just the little ear cups that all our parents were worried about was getting popped in the ear. They didn't care about everything else. But
yeah, I don't like it at all. If you don't want to get some chin music, stay off the plate.
Right.
Nolan Ryan's got to be freaking just screaming at the TV every time he watches a game.
But I mean, they got little gloves for this, and little, once they get to first base, a padded sliding glove, and man, we didn't have none of that.
Yeah.
They got their kitchen mitt.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Now, have you seen? I think it's called the Glorious Bastards of Baseball.
No,
on Netflix.
Huh? I'm have to look that up.
Have you seen it, Scotty?
If you ever want to eat a sauerkraut sandwich again, they probably don't say that though.
No, they don't. But I'd seen it and I just kept skipping over it. Just hadn't watched it, and it's actually it's a documentary about Kurt Russell's dad, Bing Russell.
Huh.
And in an era where there was no independent baseball playing in the minors, he put an independent team together and played in the minors, played a team. And actually Kurt Russell played on the team, but they had some pretty good players. And basically it was made up a bunch of ragtag baseball players that had been cut. So they thought they had an open tryout, and everybody thought they were crazy. They had 500 people show up to this tryout in Portland, Oregon. And they put a team together, but they never won a minor league pennant because the majors would send all their good players down and to keep them because they didn't want them to win a pennant. So they got cheated. But it's a really cool documentary. It's about this guy who, he was a movie star, TV star that loved baseball, grew up around baseball, and wanted to have a baseball team.
I'm going to have to check that out.
Yeah, me too.
So, just in case you're wondering, Rob's getting a phone call now.
0171.
So this is how important, everybody is to him.
Sorry about that. Listen, I sent my son grocery shopping with my credit card. So, you got to make sure he's not buying a car or something. Because
what happened to the delivery? You just had groceries delivered.
Well, that's for me. So he's out of so school's out. He's staying with me for 2 weeks until he moves to Tulsa. And so for 2 weeks he's got to have something to eat because there's nothing to eat at my house.
Yeah.
Right? Or at least nothing that he would eat.
Yeah. So
he had to go grocery shopping and get him some Pop-Tarts or something. I don't know what.
Oh, okay.
But,
good old Rhett.
Yeah. One more year.
One more year.
One more year of being broke, and then he graduates, and then I'll have some money.
But
well, my kid's not going to graduate till he's 40, so I got that going for me.
Okay, well, it's time for Sooner Not a Sooner.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
Rob's favorite game.
Scotty's probably going to do good at this.
Yeah. So
I am winning, though.
Sooner Not a Sooner. Luther LeVay. Excuse me. Luther LeVay. Sooner or not a Sooner? Not a Sooner. Are you sure?
No, but I don't recall the name.
He was not a Sooner. Do you know who Luther LeVay is or was?
He was a linebacker in the Replacements.
Nope.
Dang it.
Close. Lawrence Taylor and Sharks linebacker. Or defensive end. Let's see. Bud Kaminsky. Sooner, not a Sooner.
Bud Kaminsky. Don't know that one either. But I'm going to say not a Sooner.
Not a Sooner.
Not a Sooner.
We're not going to let Rob.
He built the ballpark in Chicago.
Yeah, that's see. I knew you were going there. You were either going to say that or you're going to say Denver Broncos.
He was a player on the ECU Timberwolves in the movie The Program.
Huh.
How do you remember all these? Because I've seen all those movies. I don't remember their names.
All right, let's see here.
You're 2 for 2 so far, Scotty.
Clint Ingram, Sooner, not a Sooner.
Sooner.
Definitely a Sooner. Linebacker, mid-90s. Oh, wait, 2000. 2000.
Very good, Rob.
Yeah.
Way to let our guest be...
Oh, sorry, Scotty.
Rob's just so excited he got one.
Drafted by the Denver Broncos.
No, not by the Denver Broncos. By the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's see here. Buddy Burris, Sooner, not a Sooner.
Buddy Burris. Not a Sooner.
He was a Sooner, sir.
Damn it, Rob.
So, who was Buddy Burris, Rob?
Buddy Burris was a lineman. Wore number 58. Is that right?
I don't know what number he wore.
And the reason I know this is because he has a section on the east side of the stadium where my office is at. So
he was a 5th round pick to the Green Bay Packers.
Are you sure one of the Denver Broncos?
I'm 100% positive.
Rob pulls that out a lot for somebody who's not a Broncos fan.
Yeah, I know.
That's just the first team that popped in.
Let's go. Dwight Drain. Sooner, not a Sooner.
What was his last name?
Drain. Dwight Drain.
That sounds like he would be a Sooner, so I'll say yes.
Rob?
Nope.
Yes.
Dang it.
1984 first round DB.
Gonna pay off one of these times.
Well, see, and you think I'd know that because I mean that defense and I know everybody's talking about Brian Bosworth and all that stuff, but in the mid '80s and all that, and they talk about the offense when you knew there was 2 plays, right? You knew that they were going to run the option, or they were going to do play action to Keith Jackson in order to Shepard, right? And they were going to just only 2 plays, and they still couldn't stop them. But I was always a defensive kind of guy, not just for Bosworth and all those guys. I was like a Sonny Brown guy. I like Sonny Brown, but I think he played on that same team. But you would think I would know that.
Yeah. Okay. One last one. Terry Tate. Sooner, not a Sooner.
Terry Tate?
Tate. T-A-T-E.
Tate. I'll say not a Sooner.
Sooner.
Nope. Not a Sooner. Do you know who Terry Tate was, Scotty? I'll give you a hint.
He is a dancer for Thunder Down Under.
That's a good one.
Now, it has to do with the Super Bowl commercials.
Still drawing a blank.
Still drawing a blank. Terry Tate was the office linebacker in the Reebok tennis shoe commercials. Do you remember the office linebacker? Terry
Oh
Tate?
yeah, yeah. Where he was murdering people.
Yeah. Terry Tate
Yes.
was the office linebacker. I actually have a Terry Tate jersey in my room.
What?
So, yeah, it's all torn up, but I got it, I think, at a garage sale. I was like, holy cow, they have a Terry Tate jersey. But
Put the ink in the copier machine, Clint.
so, Scotty, what are you looking for? What are you expecting out of this year? Do you, obviously you said that you expect, the defense to get better. Did I just say that laughing?
Well, you got two options. You got better, or you got exactly the same.
Yeah. But what are you looking forward to or seeing out of the Sooners? Are we going to roll through the Big 12 again? Are we going to end up in the playoffs again, or is the playoff committee going to go? You've had your two chances with sucky defenses. We're not going to let you do it again this year. What do you think is going to happen?
I think we make it to the playoffs again. If you look at the Big 12 all around, there's so many changes. We should roll through the Big 12. We won't know anything about the defense till really we get to Texas.
Yep.
And then Texas Tech, which has got a new coach. And then we get into Texas. And I don't think until we get to Texas we're going to know anything. After that, we've got Kansas State new coach. We've got West Virginia new coach. So the odds are in our favor to run the Big 12. I think if anything stops us, it'll be,
Our defense.
Here's another term for you. We screw the pooch with Texas, or, just that strength of schedule as far as non-conference play comes back to bite us.
Could be right. If there's a bunch of undefeated teams at the end, we could get left out in the cold because non-conference is pretty weak this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, the non-conference schedule really surprised me because OU for the last, 20 years has been known for a fairly good non-conference schedule where we've got one, pretty solid
Ohio State,
division
yeah.
program that
Tennessee.
we can fall back on. But this year, it's just not there.
Well, yeah, but I mean, UCLA is a named team. When they scheduled this game,
Right.
UCLA was a pretty solid team. They can't,
Right.
who knows when me and Rob and Scotty, you'll be here then in 2034 when we go wheeling our wheelchairs up to the Memorial Stadium to watch Oklahoma Clemson in 2034 or 2044, whenever the hell it is.
I'm getting one of those little scooter, what do they call it, the whip-arounds or whatever it is, that electric thing.
Yeah.
I'm getting one of those.
Clemson may be terrible. Oklahoma may be terrible. I mean, they're scheduling games 17 years in advance now, 10 and now 17. But these games, you don't know how. UCLA is a named team.
Yeah.
And
yes, they are, and they maybe they'll actually the cream of the crop this year is going to be Oregon. And maybe UCLA will surprise some people and come out with a, 600 or 700%, a win percentage. But I don't know. I think it's a tall order.
But when Oklahoma when we played Tennessee those 2 years, Tennessee was middle of the pack.
Yeah, middle of the pack SEC.
SEC. We played Miami. We played Florida State. They were middle of the pack ACC, and Miami ended up beating us one year in one of those. I mean, the schedule I think was a good one. It looks good on paper. Hey, Oklahoma's playing UCLA.
Well, and Houston's not nothing to sneeze at. Or and
especially
now that they got Holgorsen,
is down there talking smack.
Oh boy,
I mean,
you better watch it.
God, he hates the entire state of Oklahoma.
Yeah, I mean, he said something
That guy.
better break out the Vaseline, Oklahoma, because we're coming, or something like that. I mean,
Oh, geez.
Has he ever won here? I don't
think he's ever beaten
Dude.
Oklahoma.
Mhm. I'd hate this too.
get a haircut and stop it.
Take some, do your, get some cough drops while you're doing your press conferences, but yeah, I mean, the non, it's not on paper. It doesn't look bad. It does, we're not playing Citadel.
Right.
As Rob likes to point out, that who plays the
Right,
Citadel,
we're not
Rob?
playing for them.
Well, they're not playing Citadel this year, but they are playing Western.
School of the Blind.
Yeah, Western Collegiate Girls athletes or something.
And Alabama State, I think they're playing too. So
Yeah, but I mean, it looks good when you look at opening up with Houston, then whatever one of them Dakotas, and then UCLA. It doesn't look bad. Now, when it looks bad is if we have a one loss. My concern is just what I said though, Scotty, was if we end up being a one-loss team and the Big 12 champion again, I'm worried that just for that purpose, they're going to say Oklahoma has the number 70th ranked defense or the 60th ranked defense, which they've had the last two of the last
That'd
3
be a
years.
step up.
And they're not going to let us in. That's my concern. If it comes down to us in a one loss,
they may pull that. You've been the bridesmaid, never the bride.
right?
For the last couple of years with the offense you've had, they may just.
Which
but
is why
I mean, the few years coming up after this, I'm really excited about the schedule. With Nebraska coming up, I can't wait for that.
But I really think
we got Michigan right in a couple of years.
Yep, 5 or 6 years, something like that. But I really think Oklahoma, to get into the playoffs this year, is going to have to go undefeated. I mean, if it comes down, if there's 3 one-loss teams sitting there for the 4th spot, 3rd and 4th spot, I think Oklahoma's going to be the one left out. Well, regardless of whether they have the number 1 offense in the country again that averaging 45 points a game, they're just going to go. It ain't worked out. We're going to put somebody new in this year.
I would agree, but you remember what we talked about last year. They're not going to keep out the Heisman winner. They're not going to keep out. They wanted to see the Tua versus Kyler matchup.
That's true. So
and if we get in that same situation where it's Alabama, they're going to want to see the
Tua and
Jalen
Hurts matchup. Yeah. So I mean, we got some things working for us, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and
I agree with that
because it's a vote. It's not scientific.
Right.
It's these guys' opinion.
Well, if we're at 1 defeat and Ohio State's 1, they may take Ohio State over.
They may go. Like that, what? Oklahoma has gotten in there now. Now let's say we're a one-loss team, but our defense is it's gotten 18 turnovers in the season. It is reasonably better.
Yeah.
My concern is that because it's not a win-based system, it is a vote-based system of elitists. Football elitists that go, we're going to put these guys in.
Well, we got to run the table.
Yeah.
I think is the answer to
well,
that.
you always want to run the table, but I remember also Oklahoma sells tickets.
Oh yeah,
and they travel as good as any team in the country. And I remember going to the Holiday Bowl versus Oregon. What was it? 2002 maybe.
Yeah, 2. They went to 2 or 3 of those.
The RVs with Oklahoma flags flying. There had to be more Oklahoma fans than there were Oregon fans. I mean, they travel. Every game I went to out here at Oklahoma, from the Fiesta Bowl where we, lost to West Virginia, or the Rose Bowl here where I went to that game versus Washington State. The stadium was Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing how they travel.
Yeah, I think, the Rose Bowl, the last Rose Bowl, I think a lot of Oklahomans were expecting to win that game and
go on to play Alabama.
They were going to
rightfully so.
They were saving that trip money to to buy the $1,000
right
ticket to
because we were certainly outnumbered at Georgia.
Yeah, it was. But the other thing I forgot to bring it up earlier. Did you see that the NCAA has put together a team to research bringing back NCAA football video game?
Yep.
Now, obviously, my opinion is, or NCAA games altogether, because EA Sports quit producing them 5 years ago. Yeah. My opinion is that the NCAA has seen a huge drop in their revenue every year because everybody bought the new NCAA football game, basketball game. Everybody, even though you had the last year, you bought the new one. And the NCAA got sued, and the guy won because they used his likeness. And then the NCAA is trying to figure out a way to make that feasible for the athletes and everything else, not a pay for play. My deal is the NCAA is trying to figure out how to get that money back with approving a game.
Maybe.
So how are they going to do that if they're saying you can't use a player's likeness? Or are they going to not allow numbers on the players, but to OU on the helmets? What do you think?
Yeah, I think that whole thing, they said that they want to compensate college players for their likeness,
Right.
and their name, but I think they're going to leave, like in jersey sales, they'll leave the names off the back of the jerseys.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Well, I think they left their name on the old games. The names weren't on the jersey, but like the quarterback was number 6, like Baker Mayfield,
Yeah, or Kyler Murray, where
you could name them,
and he's got a mohawk.
You could name them, but I think their only way to do that is block that and make sure that like Oklahoma's quarterback is not number 1. You can't put a number 1 quarter.
I doubt they do that.
Well, I mean, then they're going to have to start paying the players for using their likeness, because everybody knows the quarterback for Oklahoma is Jalen Hurts and his number is number 1. So these guys can come back and sue them just like the UCLA basketball player did.
They could just make them all the same player. Everybody looks the exact same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do whatever you want.
That'd be zero fun.
Well,
though.
Kyler Murray don't have to worry about it now. He's got his contract. He signed the paper the other day, so he's not worried about it.
$36 million.
And a much, much, much better Sports Illustrated cover than Baker Mayfield's last year.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I have not seen it.
It's him standing there, and it's the chosen Rosen behind him, a little, type deal, but it wasn't, Kyler, bare chested.
Oh yeah, I remember now.
Chest hair stubble.
Well, then let me ask you guys, since we're talking about that, were you guys? I don't want to say I was surprised. I knew Kyler would go number 1. Were you surprised that Arizona held on to the pick?
Nope. I think when that was old boy's intention the whole time, when he was there and he said, I guarantee you, that's the first thing he said was, we got the first pick, I'm taking Kyler Murray. It's that simple.
Well, yeah, and I think chosen Rosen didn't turn out to be so chosen.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'm with you. I knew Kyler would go first right up until the draft, though I wasn't sure that Arizona would hold on the pick. I thought, because really, I mean, it's what's Robert's favorite saying? That's bold move, Cotton.
Yeah.
When Cliff Kingsbury, who's a first-year NFL coach coming from a losing college program, going to come in and change everything.
Yeah.
Pick that one quarterback, and a GM who took a quarterback first round the year before.
Yeah, and gave him
millions. Talking about sticking your head out, man. Right now there is somebody with an axe just waiting for this thing to fall apart so they can chop that guy's head off.
But
I just thought that it was too much to gamble, and I really thought maybe the Raiders or Miami would trade up.
I'll also say this: had Kingsbury not been at the Arizona Cardinals, I don't believe Kyler Murray would have been the number 1 pick.
Yep, I would agree with that assessment.
I
think you're right.
I mean, if it had been anybody else there, now they may have traded it or whatever. I still don't think Kyler Murray would have been. I don't think Gruden would have taken him number 1. He may have taken him with what they have, the 4th pick. He may have taken him with the 4th, but I think nothing taken away from Kyler. He's an amazing quarterback, and I think he's going to have a great career. But I think it was just the chips fell just right for him to get a second pro athlete contract in 9 months, which is ridiculous. He made enough money in the NFL with his NFL bonus to pay back his baseball bonus.
Oh, 100 times. Well, not 100.
Yeah, 10 times over.
A bunch.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now,
well, I think that he would have had a better shot with Gruden. I think Gruden would have been more prone to make those changes on his offense than Miami would have been.
Hey, Scotty.
But he's phenomenal. I think he's, like you said, he's going to have a fantastic career. And he's been looking over 6'8" lineman for all his life. So I don't think he's going to have a problem in the NFL at all.
Hey, Scott, are you watching the Rangers game?
No, I looked at the scores. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
I just looked up and saw what got me is it's at the top of the third, and it's that score.
I know.
And it has taken them an hour and 14 minutes to play 3 innings of baseball.
Well, on the bright side, Odor finally got a hit for the season.
They have. Yeah, you know what? I just think I'm just going to have to get my arm loosened up, man, and put my name in the bucket, man, because that pitching staff is something else.
It's terrible.
This is watching the '90s Rangers all over again.
Right.
Well, I just looked up. I just looked up and saw the score, and it was like, they're getting. But when I looked down, just blown, it's like it's the top of the third. I figured it was like in the 7th. 6th or 7th inning.
No, Kansas City just keeps crashing.
I'm reliving the 80s and 90s all over again. The first game I ever went to was in 1986, and it was Rangers versus Yankees in Fort Worth, and Nolan Ryan pitched, and the Rangers were up 8-0 in the 8th, and the Yankees managed to come back and win it 9-8. And that's been my life minus the 2 years they went to the World Series.
Yep. If you're a Rangers fan, it has been.
It's ridiculous. I'm done. I'm done. I'm going to fold up I've got my Nolan Ryan jersey. I'm just going to fold it up and put it up till next season.
Well, Rob, you got anything else to add? Anything you want to share? Any stories about Scotty or?
I certainly could.
There are none.
They would all pertain to you knowing every your Bible verse, every Sunday morning in Bible class, knowing.
Right. Every sermon I wrote down. And I was listening to you guys a couple of weeks ago, and Robert was reliving his. And I think it was during your conversation with somebody about when he got caught with the beer in his room.
Yeah.
And
Scotty was
was
there.
I was in.
Scotty was there.
I was there. And
in fact, it was his fault.
Rob's dad, he had his own walk, right? And but when he was angry, you knew it just by the walk. And he was angry when he came in the door because I was sitting in the living room when it happened. And he walked straight to the bedroom. I heard, pow. And then a boom, 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 boom. And then he come back out and he looks at me and he goes, how much of this did you have to do with? And I stuttered. I was like, because I knew what had happened. And Robert's cousin, Bo, was in the restroom dropping a deuce. And he heard what happened. He didn't even pull up his pants. He came out, went out the front door, toilet paper still hanging out of his ass, and went straight to his house.
Yeah, the three of us, we were guilty. He almost knocked me out. He literally almost knocked me out. Scotty didn't get any trouble.
I'm still convinced that Bo snitched us out.
That Bo,
to this day, Bo, his cousin.
Yeah.
Because how else? I don't know how else Leon would have found that beer where it was. And I'm convinced that if his mom would have found it, his mom would have took care of it herself. And Beth was a lovely lady. I don't think she would have went to Leon. Maybe she would. But I'm still convinced that Bo let that slip, Rob.
I don't think so, because he knew I would have killed him.
And Leon, being my surrogate dad, grounded me as well, and had us out in the backyard. And there was a field behind the backyard. I'm not even sure we even owned, or Leon even owned that yard. And he had us pulling weeds all day.
Yep.
And my mom pulls up in her 77 Ford LTD and goes, "Hey, Scotty, we're going to go to Elk City. We're going to go visit your cousin Christy." Now, at the time, Rob was all about Christy.
Oh,
You
boy.
know, Rob had he had a little crack. He goes, and my mom's like, well, you want to go, Rob? And he's like, well, yeah, sure. And
I wanna
about
go.
that time, Leon pulls up, and he goes, oh, no. He's not going anywhere. He's grounded. And I act like I'm getting in the car.
Right.
And this Leon goes, oh, you're not going anywhere either. You're grounded too. And my mom's like, why is my son grounded? And Leon told her, and she's like, looks like you're pulling weeds for the rest of the day. Backed out and left.
Hey, listen. She goes, well, did you bust Scotty too? And he goes, no. And let me start over. She said, or my dad said, he's not going, he's grounded, and this is why, blah, blah, blah. And she goes, well, did you bust him too? And I went, no, he didn't. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah,
like,
but Leon would have broke me. Leon would have broke me because at that time, I was 5 foot and nothing at about 100 pounds. Look, my sophomore year, I was 5'2" and about $145.
No.
And by the time I was a senior, I was 6'2".
Jeez.
But yeah, Leon would have he would have broke me in half.
Yeah, see, Rob, that's, my dad, mine and your dad was a lot the same. I mean, my dad not only punished you physically, okay, the next day you were out, chopping wood,
Right.
Digging a ditch. And then when you get done digging the ditch, he'd go, no, I didn't want it there. Fill it back in and dig it over here. That's how he was. I mean, hauling rocks, building fence, something. He put you out there. And especially, there was only like twice I ever got caught drinking. And he'd put you out there in that hot weather. And both times it was in the summer.
Make you throw up.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
But you got arrested for one of those, didn't you? Or was that vandalism?
Well, I was put in protective custody. I was put in jail. I wasn't, arrested. I was underage, and it was vandalism, and my brother tried to outrun the cops. So, in a Chevy Love pickup truck. So
Yeah, Rob's never did that.
yeah.
Not ever. No. I was at home practicing my Bible verses.
All right. Well, hey, Scotty, we appreciate it being on with us.
Thank you.
And everybody, again, make sure and check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and all that stuff. We appreciate everybody listening. That's the podcast for the day. Boomer up.
Boomer Jerry.
Boomer Scotty.
Bummer.
Thanks for listening to the Sooner Football Fans Podcast. Sooner Football Fans Podcast is hosted by Rob Nixon, Terry Long, and occasionally Caleb Long. It is produced at the beautiful Podcast Palace in Norman, Oklahoma. Follow us on Twitter at SoonerFBFans and like our Facebook page at Facebook.com/Sooner Football Fans, and visit our website at www.SoonerFootballFans.com to read our blogs and keep up with our tailgating activities. Boomer Sooner, everyone.